a lot of our B grade skills are adding, subtracting, etc. with mixed numbers. And sometimes we can get away with leaving our working as a mixed number. So this one here, 3 plus 1 is really easy, that's 4. And then 1/3 plus 1/4 can be done kind of separately. So 3 plus 1 is 4, plus, I need a common denominator for my fractions, it's going to be 12. Multiply this by 4 over 4, that will be 4 over 12, plus, see our plus sign, multiply this by 3 over 3, that will be 9 over 12. And I work out my fraction, that's 4 and, what's 4 plus 9? 13 over 12. Can I leave it at that?
No.
No, because this is? What do I do with improper fractions? Okay, how many times does 12 go into 13? Once. Does that mean I make this 41? No. What do I make this? 5. And left over is 1/12. So you can see I can deal with the whole numbers separately when I'm adding sometimes. You can also deal with them separately sometimes when you're subtracting. There's a couple of different ways you could do this. If I do 2 minus 1, I'll get 1. But then 1/4 minus 1/2, what's my problem?
They're different denominators.
Different denominators, and half is bigger than 1/4. So I can't do 1/4 minus 1/2 very easily. When I'm subtracting and I'm taking away a bigger number, if I wasn't doing fractions, what would I do?
You have to borrow.
I'd borrow. I can borrow from the whole number. If I borrow a 1 from here, makes that 1, how many 4s would borrowing that give me? One? What, a 4? Does it give me 4? So I add 4 onto here, so I've got 1 and 5/4 minus 1 and 1/2. I'd have to get this to be common denominators. Now 1 minus 1 is easy, that goes away. So I've got 5 over 4, and this can become a 4 by timesing by 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, so 5 minus 2, so I've got 3/4. Is that a question?
No.
It's okay. Now I could have done it differently, but that's a reasonable way of doing it. So if you've got bigger fractions to take away, you can borrow from your whole numbers. Now multiplying and dividing with mixed numbers is different. You have to change them to improper fractions. You can't do 1 times 2 is 2 and this times this. No. You have to change them to improper fractions first. So 1 and 1/9, I add 1 lot of 9 to the top. I've got 10 over 9 times, how many lots of 2 will I end up adding? 2 lots of 2 is? 4. So this is 5 over 2. When I'm multiplying fractions, I multiply the tops and I multiply the bottoms. It's a good idea to put that down as working because it reminds me what I'm doing. 10 times 5 is 50. 9 times 2 is 18. Now can I do some useful simplifying with that?
Yes.
Yes. Does 18 go into 50?
Yes, it does.
How many times?
3? No, 2.
2, because like 20 would go in twice and it's pretty close. So 2. Now what's 2 lots of 18? 36. So what have I got left over from my 50? 2 and 14 over 18. And can I simplify 14 over 18?
Yes.
What would that come down to?
2 and 7 over 9.
Yeah, because 2 goes evenly into both of those. So the only different step when I'm multiplying with mixed numbers is just make them to improper fractions first. Then it's exactly the same as it always was. And with division, definitely make the mixed numbers first. This is 3. So 1 lot of 3 over 3 is 4/3. divided by a quarter, and now everyone, even my C grade people, can tell me what's the trick when I'm dividing by a fraction. What do I change? Do I change the...
Divide to times and flip the second fraction.
Flip the second fraction. First fraction has to stay the same. Divide to a times and flip the second fraction. 4 times 4 on the top, 3 times 1 on the bottom. 4 times 4 is 16 over 3. Can I make that into a mixed number?
Yep.
How many times does 3 go into 16? 5 times and 1 remainder.